Let's try.
Let's try. Yeah, we just
All
try.
right. Yeah, let's try. Let's try. Okay, in English mode. Good morning, good day, good evening, good night from wherever and whenever in the world you are watching this interview. I am Daniel, or as you know me, DanielApologetics. It was really hard to come up with that name. And I am sitting here now with my best friend from Norway, Steffen. And he has a very, very strong testimony and story. And he was actually, this interview was actually the first idea I had when I started this YouTube channel, was to get him on. So I'm very happy to have you here. Normally a very busy man. And first, before I introduce you, or you introduce yourself, keep in mind, guys, that my first language is Norwegian. Steffen's first language is Norwegian. And then kind of his second language is, in a way, Indonesian, and mine is kind of Slovakian. So English is basically our third language. So excuse us for all the and errors and grammars and all. We'll try our best to make this into a good one. So, well, Steffen, welcome very much to this interview. So happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Good to join you in your channel, and yeah, looking forward to speaking with you, and yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. I think this is the first time we are speaking English to each other, like alone. And
yes,
it's kind of awkward.
It's a little bit awkward and a little bit weird, but it's for a good case. So
yeah, it is.
Important that we do this in English.
Yes, definitely. I think most of my subscribers are also English-speaking ones. So I just let my audience know, and people are watching this. This is the first time I'm doing like a Zoom interview thing. I'm not an interviewer. I only make, normally I just make like once a week a short and sweet 5-minute video on different topics: apologetics, theology, evangelism. So this is the first interview I'm doing, so forgive my host if I'm being a bad host. It's all Steffen's fault, if so.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, well, so far so good. I'm a kind of guy who likes to do research and write things down and memorize it. So when I'm recording my videos, I'm memorizing them, all the manuscripts. So I have written down some questions for you. And let me just start with, before you became a Christian, how did you experience Christians in school and in hometown? Because basically me and Steffen we met each other in college, in school. So that's where our friendship started. So my first question is to you, how did you experience Christians in general from hometown and school?
Yes, that's a good and big question. When I were picking the high school, I was picking the high school who seems most fun, and I'm not very happy about schools, and I'm a dyslexic, and I needed a school that were fun, so I choose a school with not only the classroom, what is it called? Classrooms hours, but also we were in the woods and we were running like a farm, and it seems fun. But the problem is that the school was a Christian school, and I remember my friends back home in my town were, I think they were laughing at me because I was not very pleased with the Christians and the Christianity and image of God, like a lovely God. It was very far from my thoughts, and but I was thinking, how bad could it be? And when I started school, I met you and other Christian people, and I were I very quick understand that it was very bad, because you guys were quite into this Jesus person and into the Christianity, and it was like all you talked about. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be at school for 3 years with a lot of brainwash people. This is going to be quite fun. So I was very early thinking about maybe I have made a bad choice attending that school.
Let me ask you, how did you experience the closest months and weeks before you became a Christian? Like, what was going on in your head and life then? The closest months and weeks before you became a Christian? Because if I can say personally, I remember that, especially in the beginning when we met the first years, you were a bit like, I would say a little bit militant atheist. You were quite hard on Christians and the worldview, and you were asking me many challenging questions, and I was not so much into apologetics. I have never heard of apologetics either by then. I used my my scriptural understanding and my philosophical understanding of to make a defense, but I had no idea what apologetics was. So, but anyway, you asked me many questions. I tried to give my best answers, and well, what happens is that I can say this to the audience, that Steffen, he was never this apathetic atheist. Like, I don't care what the world, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Now, he really wanted to find answers. He was a truth seeker, but he was, you know, many atheists are either in the apathetic direction or the militant direction, or the in between, like a truth seeker. Steffen was definitely a truth seeker, but he was militant also, more in that direction. So, again, Steffen, the question is again, how did you experience the months and weeks leading up to you before you became a Christian? What was going on in your head and life then?
Yes. First of all, for me, I got like a challenge when I met you guys, and used the next 3 years to try to convert you, or to explain to you that you are brainwashed, and that you have to see it by yourself, that there are no loving God. And that was my goal. And as you say, I was atheist, and I didn't want to believe, but I also wanted to see what is the truth. And therefore I loved discussed with you guys, and trying to find out how can you believe, and why do you believe. And I thought I had very many good arguments, and I was feeling that the Christian were looking down to us atheists, and people who don't believe, they were like, the Christian were up here and looking down. And let me come back to that point later, because your question is what was happening, like the weeks before I become a Christian. It was some hard weeks, because I was struggling with my own arguments, and I didn't have so many. And I saw something in you guys, that how much I were discussing with you guys, and I didn't feel that you always had so many good answers. You have become quite smarter now. And hopefully I also have becoming a little bit smarter.
Definitely.
But even though you couldn't answer me with all my weird and maybe difficult question, you had something that I couldn't explain. The Christian friends I had, they had something that were like, let's call it glowing. And I'm not like a spiritual guy, but it was something that I couldn't explain, and that was bothering me. And I was starting to realize, okay, if it is true, if it is a God, and if this God is the Christian God, you guys had told me that I have to give it a chance. And then I started to realize, okay, if I'm going to know what is the truth, I have to also give God a chance to speak to me. I have to I have to start listen. And I don't remember everything, but I remember some parts that you guys told me that you have used 3 years to pray for me. A lot of people has used a lot of time just praying for me, and that's even for an atheist, that's mean something, and it's touching something. Why have those people used the time to pray for me? And I remember that I come into your room and you prayed for me, and it was a lot of thoughts going on, and I was so like I didn't know where I was and what I believed. So I was struggling with something, and I was also struggling with what will my friends and family said who are not Christian, because I have been like very hard against Christian. I've told everyone that I feel the Christian are brainwashed, and if I become a Christian, yeah, I'm just one of them. And what will my friends and family said to that? So yeah.
What I wanted to say is that I remember, because this I can tell to the audience first because they don't know it, but in this school, which was a Christian school, we had like a very old kind of living room in the school building. And every day around 7:30 after breakfast, before breakfast maybe, I don't remember that now. I think it was after breakfast, 7:30, we gathered maybe 10 to 15 people in this living room then, and we were just praying for different things, for each other, for things that was going on in life. And I was there almost every day, I can say, and I also had many friends who were there very often. We were always people there every morning. And Steffen was one of, I think he was brought up every time we were praying, and either I was alone praying for him or we were praying together. But we brought Steffen up a lot in prayer. We prayed for Steffen for 3 years, and I can say that I saw in the last couple of month or so and weeks before you became a Christian, there was something spiritual going on, a spiritual warfare, something going on. It's hard to explain. And before I learned apologetics like 5 years ago, I couldn't share the gospel better than just using my scriptural understanding and philosophical understanding and my personal testimony. And I would say that the personal testimony of the Holy Spirit, it is the strongest argument for Christianity, even though we have so many good arguments to stand from.
2 hours later.
But at the end of the day, the witness of the Holy Spirit is the strongest argument for Christianity. And this was what I was choosing for Steffen, and this was the praying part. But something happened that night, and I remember very well. It was quite late at night. This was our last year in college, just around a couple of weeks before we were graduating. Basically, Steffen came knocking on my door. I think it was we were renting a house, me and 2 other friends and Steffen. Yeah, so 4 guys. Me and Steffen were living upstairs, and it was quite late. I was sitting in my bed watching Friends. I'll be there for you. And Steffen knocked on my door, and I could just see that he was like, it looked like he's been up for like 48 hours. He looked absolutely like tired or drained, if I can explain that. I know he wasn't, but it looked like it in a way. And he just came to me. I can't remember exactly what he said because it's been more than 10 years, but 13 years now, 12 years. But you said something to me that I can't get peace inside. There's something going on, and I don't know, but there's something with God, basically I don't know, I don't remember all details, but I basically said, Steffen, And I think this is the key, most important thing I ever said to you in my life. And I think it was a big part of you making that decision to give your life to Christ. It was, you have to stop looking at God through Christians, because Christians are fallible. We make mistakes. We misrepresent God all the time. You have to seek the face of God. You have to seek the face of Christ. Just call out to him in prayers and start to get to know him and seek him directly, not through people, but seek God directly. And we were praying, we were talking, and then we were praying again. And I couldn't say that it was like instantly you became like a ring around your head and glowing and whatever. But I could see something already then. I could see something start happening. And this, I don't know if you told me how you experienced that yourself. We can go into that now in question. But what was funny is that since this was very close to we were finishing, and I remember my mother and grandma, they came to visit me on the graduation. And I remember also, I think, our father, our friend John, and his wife. They said that something, and friends also, they said something happened to Steffen, because you used to be that guy with the cap, dark. You were like and suddenly you were like smiling. You had like some kind of glow in your face. It's hard to explain. I know how that would sound for some people that are like, but this is really true. And people, I didn't tell people that you were Christian. This was something I let you do yourself, but you could see it's so big difference very fast after this night. So yeah, strong stuff. I don't know if you want to add something to that, Steffen.
Yeah. I also remember very good the night I knocked on the door and you were praying for me, and I was still very confused. I remember very good that you were watching Friends, but you were watching Friends all the time. So, but it was a very, very important part of my the start of my journey. I also remember lying in the bed the morning after, and I think it was there I like took the decision and just started to pray and said, okay, Jesus, if you are real, if you are the truth, I want to get to know you, and I want to give you a chance, and please come into my life and change me. And then I went down, and you were there, and some of our good friends were there, and I was like, okay, no hugging and everything, but I have become a Christian, and you guys were hugging and everything.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I remember that.
and then I said to you that I was not ready to just tell it on the mountain. I want to give him the chance, but yeah, I was still a little bit confused and thinking about what shall I tell to my friends in my hometown and to my family and to all the people that at the school that I have been using 3 years to try to convert them into not believing in God, and what should I tell them? And so I didn't like run out at the school and tell everyone, but even though Jesus become a part of my life that day, and I got something, and as I told you, when I were atheist, I saw something in my Christian friends, that something that were bothering me. I couldn't argument. I haven't some argument to tear it down, because it was something, and now I believe it's, yeah, as Christian we go with the Holy Spirit, and if we live our life as Christian, people will what's it called?
Recognize, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if we are true to our beliefs in Jesus, people will see that. I saw it, and that were changing my life. And before I were a Christian, I were often thinking about like what's going to happen after I die, and all the big questions. And I were often laying in my bed late at night and couldn't sleep because all the thoughts were running, the big questions. But after I become a Christian, yeah, life has not been a dance on roses. It has been very tough. I have been losing some of some near family members, and things has been very difficult. But about the big questions, I have got a peace, and that's a very important thing.
I will see if I wrote them down. You can just sing a song while I'm looking for them.
Yes, sure.
Yes. So again, I reveal my my way of working that I'm memorizing and all. But Steffen, now we can go a little bit further to what happened after, because you know, this is sometimes, I think it happened for a reason, but I'm so grateful to God for using me in this, because I really feel like I was underqualified, and all I was doing was you know, actually I remember that that now that just before we were finishing and just before you became a Christian, after been praying for you for like 2 years and 11 months, it kind of feels like, okay, I'll just have to keep praying for Steffen when we're finishing school now. But it felt like this was not going where I wanted it to go, because I was praying for you a lot, and I know there were many other people who are doing as well. But it felt like, okay, now we are finishing. I have no idea where he will go now, and I tried to answer. I've maybe I became better to answer your questions as well after not better from third year than first year probably, but still never heard about apologetics. So we have a big work to do in Christianity to get that out more. But I remember that it was a little bit heartbreaking to now I have to let you go, and I can't be a witness to you anymore. And yeah, but my heart really jumped, if I can say like that, when you came knocking on my door that night. I don't, like I said, I didn't remember the morning so well. That was further back here, but that night I remember very well, and that it's just a very incredible experience, and that you are doing this important decision and prayer the morning yourself, and just the changes that happens. It's just a really strong story. But what's even more stronger now is that let's go on to what happened after college. Tell us about what happened after college, because a lot of things happened in your life. And before you say anything, maybe I will cut something out now, because we will go into some personal details or info. I don't know if I can keep it in or not, for your security, for my security, but especially for your security. So why don't you tell Steffen what happened after college?
Yes. Yeah, where should I start? Maybe the interesting part, it's couple of years later, I were attending like a school in Norway. We have like in Norwegian folkeskole. It's like it was a Christian school, like a Bible school, but it was like a fun year. We learned a lot, but not like classroom learning, but learn more about the life and everything. After that, I moved to a city called Bergen, and there I met my wife, and we started out like flirting. We're like when we were meeting each other the first times, we was like, oh, you haven't moved yet, because both of us wanted to move out in the world and serve the Lord and tell people about what Jesus had done in our life.
Mm.
And yeah, long story short, we become married in 2013.
Oh, get this right.
2013, and then we had our first son in 2015, and then we got a daughter, and then we were so happy to get the opportunity to move to Indonesia. And in Indonesia, I work in a church partnership and some child ministry together with the my Christian friends in Indonesia, and trying to help them and give them something that God have give to me. And now we have been living in Indonesia for 3 years, and that has been amazing. And for me, it's as you say that, yeah, I'm not like the spiritual guy, and I love spiritual Christian because it's so much life, and I just love it. I'm not there by myself, but for me, it's important that you don't have to be like this or like this to be a Christian. You have to be yourself, and the important part that you have to know you have to know Jesus, and you have to serve God. And that has been my goal and my future. I want to serve God with my life, and because He has changed my life. And as you know me before I become a Christian, and you know me now, and you can sign that it's two different people, and that what I feel by myself. It's I'm not the same that I were before I become a Christian, but still my friends in my town, it's still my best friends. And it was not a problem. I were afraid to tell my friends and my families about that I have become a Christian, but they are still my best friends, and my family it was not a problem. And they maybe don't understand why I have choose to like give my life to God, because they don't believe in God, but they see that I do it for a purpose, and yes. So and also, like I said, before I become a Christian, I was feeling the Christian were looking down at me, and that's a very sad thing. It's a sad thing that atheists and other believers feel that Christians are like higher up and looking down on them, because that is not a correct way to live as a Christian. And like Jesus and Zacchaeus, like Zacchaeus, he was climbing up in the tree, and Jesus were actually looking up on these. He was looking up on Zacchaeus and asking him to come down, and because he wanted to join him in his house and eat with him. And it's I want to give that to other people, and I want to give Jesus to other people. And
love God, love people.
Yes.
That's true. And it's very good that you are bringing this up, because it's something that we Christians need to remind ourselves every day, because Jesus set a perfect example of how to live. Even when he died, the last thing he said, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. He even showed us how to die right. Jesus is just the perfect example. You have kind of like spiritual, first humble yourself, seeking God, getting the testimony of the Holy Spirit, and then into the intellectual side of Christianity. And then it's it's about the Christian way of life. You know, you want to serve God. You want to tell people about him. That's the fruit. That's the fruit of the faith.
Yeah, and I also think that is what we can do as disciples. We can go together with people that seeking the Lord, and how we do it, it's very different from people to people and what other people needs. I would need what for me, I need someone to just be my friend, and I couldn't discuss with you, but you were not judging me, but you were praying for me, and that was very effective. And you were always open for questions and things. But as Christian, we can go together with people, but in the end, yeah, we have no chance, because it's only Jesus that can change life, and it's only Jesus that can take people the last couple of steps. And that's also important for us Christians to know, because we are not in the power to change people's life like that. It's it's just Jesus who can do that. And I want to be a guy that people can work together with, and and then I hopefully can give them something of God's love and His word. But in the end, I'm so happy that it is Jesus that do the last steps. And
we are gardeners. You know, we are sowing seeds, and some are watering, some are bringing sun, some are removing bad grass. Be sure that in every person's life that are giving its life to Jesus, even if you are the one who get to be there when it's time for harvest, you are not the only worker in there. There are many people who's been laying the hard work up until that point of sowing, of giving knowledge, of clearing up misunderstanding. Everyone's been playing a part. We are rejoicing and winning together. And when it comes down to it, it's about if the person is willing to humble himself, to let the Holy Spirit open up his heart and reveal himself to him.
Indonesia is a wonderful country, and Indonesian people is just amazing. But it's not always easy for the Christian people in Indonesia, and I have the opportunity now to work together with them and encourage them, and hopefully helping them to stay in the ministry and serve the Lord.
Perfect. This is very good. And how can I say, you are, of course, now there's like some kind of virus thing going on. You probably know. You are home now from you just recently came back from Indonesia. You were alone for a month there to try and take care of things. How is it look like now? Do you have any idea when you were going back and what?
I were there for a month. Come home a couple of weeks ago, and it's quite difficult because of the virus. Some of our works, it's like a little bit on pause, and that's of course a little frustrated. And but hopefully we can come back strong. The plan now is I will go back for 3 weeks, a month in middle of October, and then we will spend Christmas in Norway. And hopefully, if the situation become a little bit better in Indonesia, we hope to be back, the whole family, in the start of 2021. But we never know, and we have to respect the time we are living in now with the virus and all the people that are fighting the virus. And we have to respect the rules and pray for the people that running the countries and doctors and nurses, and yeah, it's important that that we don't take some risk, and we don't want to take some risk, but so therefore I just go by my own, and I'm keep distance, and
of course. It's if you're watching this in 2030, we are now in 2020 in September. It's a virus going on, global pandemic, whole world is shut down, airplanes, countries, masks. It quite sucks. We can say that. And yeah, that's what we are talking about now. So now just before we're closing out here, can probably forgot to mention that you recently had your third child.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just said it now to the audience, but to sound nice. But of course, I told you guys earlier.
She was born in Indonesia. So and where she were like 1.5 back home to Norway. So that was quite interesting to go with 3 small children, and one of them were a baby. But I have an amazing wife that takes care of things. So she has control. So
she's great.
We trust God, and things are good.
Yeah. This is you are well. What to say? I mean, this is a really strong testimony, really strong story, and I would just encourage every Christian out there who are watching this, either close to the time I'm filming this or in the future, pray for Steffen and his family and the work they are doing in Indonesia. It's so important. And Steffen, I just want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and your testimony. I am so grateful to God that a little guy like me could play a part in this journey of yours, and now we can share it with the world together. And just God bless you, my brother, and take care of yourself and your family. Keep being a light for the Lord. And I mean, anything else you want to close out with? The word is yours. The final word.
Thank you, Daniel. It's been a pleasure to be joining you, and good luck with your channel. And it's interesting to follow it, and I think it's important work you're doing. And keep praying for that, and keep praying for Indonesia and for the COVID-19 situation. And it is hope. I will also say that for friends or families that not believe in Jesus, they are atheists and they don't want to know God. Maybe they have experienced bad things in life. One of I become atheist, like a military atheist, was I lost my father when I was 10 years old, and I didn't want to believe in a lovely God, but He's lovely, and He can change your life. And for your friends that are not believers, keep praying for them. Keep working. Keep in touch with them, and because Jesus can change life, and He was faithful then, and He will be faithful now.
Really, if you have some doubts, or if you have some hard things with Christianity, seek answers from the best one out there, both sides. And I'm convinced, and Steffen is convinced, on top of the conviction of the Holy Spirit, that the Christian faith explains the reality we live in the best, and it's so worth looking into, because as C.S. Lewis said, I might butcher the quote a little bit here, but the one thing Christianity cannot be is just moderately important. If it's true, it's the most important thing ever. it cannot just be okay true, like whatever true. It's the most important true if it's true, and it is. So really, it's worth it.
It is.
God bless you, Steffen. Thank you for coming on, and we'll talk to each other soon.
Yes, thank you, and God bless you.